Is our election system crumbling right before our eyes, or are we witnessing a massive case of gross negligence that threatens to destroy public trust in our democracy? When 500,000 voters receive the wrong ballots in a high-stakes gubernatorial primary, the alarm bells should be ringing at every level of government. Before we continue, if you want to stay on top of everything happening in US politics, hit that subscribe button right now and leave a like. It really helps this channel grow and ensures you get the updates that the mainstream media might try to sweep under the rug. The state of Maryland is currently at the center of a political firestorm after a massive printing error by an outside vendor resulted in hundreds of thousands of voters receiving mail-in ballots for the wrong party affiliation. This isn't just a small-scale clerical mishap. We are talking about a staggering 500,000 residents who were sent incorrect documentation ahead of the June 23 primary. When this blunder came to light, the Maryland State Board of Elections scrambled to announce that they were resending replacement ballots to everyone affected. But for many, the damage to voter confidence is already done. This catastrophe has prompted immediate and aggressive action from the House Administration Committee. Chairman Brian Steil of Wisconsin and Vice Chair Laurel Lee of Florida fired off a scathing letter to the Maryland State Board of Elections, demanding absolute transparency. They aren't just asking for an apology, they are questioning whether the state has any adequate safeguards left to verify the accuracy of these ballots. The Republicans on the committee, including Representatives Morgan Griffith, Greg Murphy, Stephanie Bice, Mike Carey, and Mary Miller, have set a deadline of June 9 for the State Administrator of Elections, Jared DeMarinis, to answer for these failures. They argue that rushing out 500,000 replacement ballots creates an immense logistical strain that could easily lead to even more errors, potentially undermining the entire integrity of the state's electoral process. But the backlash hasn't stopped at the committee level. Former President Donald Trump has jumped into the fray, calling on the Department of Justice to launch a full-scale investigation into Maryland's election operations. Trump didn't mince words on Truth Social, labeling Governor Wes Moore as corrupt and asserting that this ballot snafu wasn't just an accident, but a move designed to benefit Democrats. Meanwhile, the Republican National Committee has deployed its Protect the Vote Election Integrity Unit, establishing hotlines and legal oversight in Maryland to ensure that every single vote is legitimate. On the other side of the aisle, Administrator DeMarinis is playing defense. He claims that his office is taking all necessary precautions to void the initial, incorrect ballots and that the system is functioning exactly as it should under extreme pressure. He argues that mail-in voting is an integral facet of the modern electoral process and that his team is doing everything in their power to eliminate doubt. But when you have 500,000 people questioning if their vote will actually count, doing our best might not be good enough for the American public. This situation perfectly encapsulates the ongoing national debate over mail-in voting. For years, the GOP has pushed for stricter oversight, voter ID, and limited no-excuse mail-in voting, arguing that the system is ripe for fraud and human error. Critics of those measures argue that expanding mail-in voting makes it more accessible for every American. But when a vendor error of this magnitude happens, it proves the Republican argument that the system is incredibly fragile. If we cannot manage a ballot printing process without a massive, statewide failure, how can the public be expected to trust the outcome of close races? We are looking at a scenario where the legitimacy of an entire state primary could be called into question. If the fix involves sending another 500,000 ballots, the logistical nightmare is just beginning. What happens if those replacement ballots get lost in the mail? What happens if someone fills out both the wrong ballot and the right one? The potential for chaos is high, and the GOP is clearly positioning itself to monitor every single step of this recovery process to ensure that no funny business occurs. This is a defining moment for election integrity. We are seeing a direct clash between state officials who want to maintain the status quo and federal lawmakers who are demanding a standard of accountability that, frankly, should have been there all along. The outcome of this probe will likely set the tone for how mail-in voting is handled in other battleground states heading into the general election. So, what do you think about this? Do you believe this was just a simple vendor error, or is there a deeper level of incompetence or worse going on within the Maryland State Board of Elections? Drop your opinion in the comments below. I read every single one, And I want to hear your take on whether our current election system is actually capable of maintaining integrity. We are going to be tracking this situation closely as the June 9th deadline for the State Board of Elections approaches. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next update on this developing story. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.